Fridays. How's it going? Welcome to Sweet Willy's Kitchen. You know, when your football team starts the season 0-2, there's only one thing to make things better, and that's pizza. Now, we already did the traditional pizzas a few episodes back in Sweet Willy's Kitchen, but one of the comments came from a friend of mine from Chicago that said, how about Chicago deep dish? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to use a different type of sauce, and we're going to have a little different method than the traditional flat pizza. So that's what we're going to do. So stay tuned. Hey, and we're back. So here's what the few different things we're going to be doing when we do the deep dish. Okay, the deep dish is, as opposed to your traditional New York style pizza, deep dish is a little, hence the name, it's deeper. Okay, so it's usually about that thick. Okay, so there's a lot of things you can put on it, and what I like to do is I like a robust flavor and a thick in texture. So we're going to be using a sauce that's a little bit more of a texture. All right, so we're going to start off with the peeled tomatoes, not the crushed tomatoes that were very fine. We're going to go with something that is much thicker. Why? Because it's my sauce. So we're going to give this a shot here. All right, so we're just going to use one can because we're only going to need one can for the, okay, we're just going to open this up. We're just going to need one can's worth of sauce. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off here and we're going to drain the tomatoes, okay? I'm going to shake off. Okay, I'm going to shake them off here, so. That's it. Those are Italian peeled tomatoes. What you do is we wash our hands first, but you get to play with them, and they will squirt on you. So what we're going to do is we're going to hand crush them to get something a little chunkier. It's that kind of mash. Okay, see these pieces here? All right, like that. My sauce, we're going to use 4 cloves of garlic. And we're going to use a chop. I'm going to chop them up like so. Here, my head's cut off here, so we're going to cut these up. All right, something like that, nice and rough. Okay. The second element we're going to do. So we use 4 cloves of garlic. Second thing what we'll do is I'm going to use a sweet onion, a Vidalia onion. Okay, I like onion. Years ago when I first started doing this, I used to make my marinara with onion and garlic. So that has changed over the years, so I'm going to go back to my roots. It's about 1/3 of that onion we're going to use. Okay, so we took an onion this size and we cut 1/3 of it. All right, and then what we'll do is we'll use take the skin off. And then we'll go from there. Now I usually have a chopper for this, but it's in the dishwasher. So here we go. So we're going to use a nice rough chop to start off with. Oh, there you go. That's what we've got. All right. So we're going to chop it up to those pieces. There's your garlic. I would say a good 1/2 cup. All right, a 1/2 cup of chopped onion, and I would roughly say 1/8 of a cup of chopped garlic, but we went with 4 cloves, so those are your units. 4 cloves of garlic and a 1/2 cup of chopped onions. Okay, we're back at the stove. So we've got our saucepan, a relatively small saucepan. Is it 2 quart? Yeah, it's 2. It is the 1.5 quart. 1.5 quart saucepan, and we're going to use roughly. I'm going to cover the bottom with the olive oil. All right, so cover the bottom with the olive oil. We're going to start with medium heat. All right, and then what we'll do is, an old adage, cold oil, cold pan. So we're going to put the garlic and the onions right now in with the pan. That way they don't smoke up too much. Hear them start to come up to temperature. Make sure, if not, see how the garlic and the onions, they're covered in olive oil. All right? So we're not using too high of it. We're not using too high of a heat. Okay. Oh, the smell of garlic and onions. So hey, look who's over here. Remember Uncle Muzi? Hey, this guy over here, he's gonna make Chicago deep dish pizza. That's right, Uncle Muzi. We're gonna do Chicago deep dish. And we're gonna make a big chunky marinara. Hey, all right. So, here we go. You can hear it. Let's give it about another minute. I'm gonna put the tomatoes in. Like so. Get that incorporated. Mash everything down if need be. Okay. All right. Now you're probably wondering what we're going to do with with the juice after we drain the tomatoes. Here it is. You think we're going to let this go to waste? No. We're going to pour that in. We're also going to add some more oregano. Now, if you recall in the last episode, I think we only used a teaspoon. We're going to use a little bit more. We're going to use a tablespoon. Put it on our tablespoon. Put that in there. And we're only going to use a teaspoon of salt. Not a big. You can always add salt. So use a teaspoon of salt. There's enough flavor already in there with the garlic and the onions and the oregano. Salt will just help enhance it a little bit. Alright? So, everything looks like it's up to temperature, so what we're going to do is we're going to pour this in here. And because it's already hot, it's going to start to simmer. It's going to take about 30 minutes. We'll let this cook. We're going to bring this up to a boil, and then once it starts to boil, then we'll take it down to a simmer and cover it for about 30 minutes, and that should do it. So it's boiling. We got a nice boil going. All right, get that going. We got to stir this up. We don't want it to overboil, so we're going to stir it up. Look at that marinade. Oh yeah. The sauce has been cooking for about 30 minutes, so let me show you what it looks like right now. So what we have here is a nice chunky sauce here, okay? If you don't like it like that, well, then what you would do is you would start by maybe mincing up your vegetables a little bit more to a little finer mince, okay? But for the sake of this, we're gonna go with something like so. So that's how we're going to do that. Okay, so that's ready to be used. And what we're going to do is we're going to roll out some dough. We're going to start. We're just going to use a regular pie pan. All right. And I know, guys, please. I know we use something a little deeper, but this is what we have. And so it's a regular 9-inch pie tin. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a little canola oil on this, okay? The oven's set at 450 degrees, okay? So we're going to take some the canola oil, pour that in here, and get that on the sides here. Right? You can see it's nice and oiled up, and she's ready to go. Like I said, we got the pizza dough from our local supermarket. They do a nice job. That's nice and fresh. And those of you who've seen the videos know this is what we use. So it's a tried and true. Again, I know there's probably a recipe for the dough, but for the sake of this, and we'll see how this works out. And if it doesn't work out, well, we'll do the research. So I'm gonna roll this out relatively just like what we would the regular traditional New York style. Okay, I mean, really, when you think about it, the only difference is that the crust might be a little thicker, and instead of using a flat pan, we use a cake pan or a sided pan. So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I love, if you're going to be doing a deep dish, that's made for putting good toppings on. Here's our dough. We've got it relatively thin. I hope you watch me do a couple passes of it. So here's our pan. Okay, I'm gonna lay this over here, nice and loose. Okay, so we can do the sides. All right, so hopefully the oil will help it stick. So you gotta drape it. There you go. Gotta drape it. It takes some time to do, just like you'd be making a nice deep dish apple pie or something like that, right? So let the dough fall. Let the dough fall where it may. So here we go. So here's our pan. Looks like it's ready to go. There you go. Now when we finished it, when we fill this up, we'll cut the sides off. We'll trim the sides off, but for the sake of this, we'll let that go. All right, so toppings or fillings. Really, it's more not toppings, it's fillings. That's the difference between Chicago and New York. Is what you put on is a filling, not a topping. So we're going to use a sliced mozzarella that I got at the deli counter. All right, I'm going to lay these pieces in here. All right, nice and try to get some uniformity in here. All right. See, they work theirs from the cheese down, up. That is, they go cheese first, then sauce. But what's nice is the heat from the oven will fill that up nicely, and the cheese will melt and form a nice barrier. You know, push to the sides, and then a slice of mozzarella. And there we go. And one in the middle. This is the fillings here. We're going to have two fillings. I went with pepperoni, which from what I gather is the most popular pizza topping. And then what I've done is I took sausage, link sausage, Italian sausage, and I took the casings out. And we're going to take little bits and we're going to put them down. But what we're going to do is we're going to separate these two. We're going to put them all down the side here because somebody in the house likes pepperoni and I'm going to go with sausage. So we'll find a dividing line here, and we're going to put some pepperoni here. I'm going to put pepperoni on one side. All right, pepperoni on the one side. What we'll do is we'll separate that. We'll give that a little coverage, so we'll have a little line so when the cheese melts it'll separate the pepperoni from the sausage. Not everybody likes sausage. I do though. I have one for a cup. So here's the pork. Here's the sausage, right? We took it out of the skin. All right, we're just going to take a little bits and I'm going to put it right along that dividing line. Already tasted. Like I said, life is good. Life is good, even if your favorite football team's 0-2. So you guys try to figure out what team that is. My favorite football team, and say you're sorry or whatever, but whatever. So without further ado, let's introduce the sauce that we have here. Remember, we got that nice sauce, that nice chunky sauce. You know what? I think what we're going to do is we might put the stick blender to this. Let's see. I think I'm going to thin it out a little bit. Not a lot, just enough to make it interesting. So it covers a little better. All right, so we'll do that. I think I may have gone a little too chunky. What do you guys think, huh? A little too chunky? All right, I'm gonna put the motorboat to this thing and we'll let it. There we go. There you go. do you think? A little better? Yeah, I think so. We'll pour this over. What? So profesh. We'll pour this over here. All right. Pour that over and let that settle on top. That looks good. Now we've got a line of demarcation here of where the, I should have did that first. We got a dividing line of where the pepperoni is and where the sausage is, and I'm gonna guesstimate right over here. Yep, that's where the line is. Yep. That's where that dividing line is. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna put 2 toothpicks, so we have that line that's here. What I'll do is I'll stick a piece of pepperoni over here so we know that size the pepperoni and that size the sausage. All right, so we've got that. And let's, let me trim this off here. All right. Just like you would a regular apple pie. I know, guys, I'm gonna make apple pie. I know, I'm gonna make the apple pie. I don't know, guys. I know it's a great pie. There we go. There we go. Good. I'm going to put a little grated Parmesan on the top. All right. Locatel, a little fresh mozzarella, not the fresh mozzarella, grated Parmesan on the top. All right. Now let's put this in the oven for 30 minutes, at 450 for 30 minutes. We'll see you in 30 minutes. And we are out of the oven. So 30 minutes have passed, and we've taken this bad boy and taking it straight out of the oven. Look at that. I think what we're gonna do is we gotta let this cool off. It's real loose right now. So once things gets down to temperature, it'll solidify and then we can actually eat it. Okay guys, we've waited about 20 minutes, all right? And you can actually still, you can hold it now without burning your hands. So I think it's starting to set up a bit. So we're gonna try our best to get this thing out of here in one piece. So again, what I did was I took a knife and I ran it along the sides here to free it up. So everything looks pretty good, and I gave a little jump here, so we're okay. So the trick is to get this thing out of here in literally one piece. Now I've seen a few videos what they do in the professionals, and they're real good at it. They've got this crazy newfangled thing that clamps in here, and they flip, and so I'm gonna try. All right, guys, wish me luck here, folks. All right, so we're gonna go under here and hope for the best. Okay. Oh, yeah. Come on. Bingo! I hope we got it. I should have did over here, but we were able to get it here and flip and let it fall into place. So here it is, and here we go. Chicago stuffed pizza, Chicago deep dish pizza. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. And those of you who have subscribed, I guess you guys already know we've hit 5,000 subscribers. I want to thank you all. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.